Obviously, Doomsday is a big deal, and it was delayed 7 months. And that's crazy because they're not actually stopping shooting, or at least they have not stopped yet. There might be a slight break in shooting, but by and large, this thing is shooting for like the better parts of 10 months straight. That's crazy. I've never experienced a shoot that's long. That's like a shoot for like a really long show or something. Like, that's absolutely insane. But because of that, there is some stuff that's kind of leaking out about this and potentially explaining why some of this happened. So I want to go over a report from Daniel RPK that happened yesterday and sort of give you some context here, because there were a few things he said. So he said Marvel Studios reportedly still has not finalized the third act of Avengers Doomsday. Now, that in a way is like shocking, and I think maybe the uninitiated or whatever would be like, damn, like that's crazy. That sounds like a disaster, okay? But, you know, as we explained yesterday, Marvel is always reworking their movies. They will do scheduled reshoots where they don't even know what they're reshooting, but they know they will want to shoot something to make the movie better. Marvel traditionally changed the ending of Quantumania about a month before it released. Marvel changed the ending of the first Avengers movie and added the shawarma scene. This was after the world premiere. So the premiere happens, there's no shawarma scene. They shoot the shawarma scene at the premiere and put it into the reels for the actual release. So Marvel works really last minute. This is not uncommon. But of course, with a movie this important and a film that just got delayed 7 months, when you hear that they have not finalized the third act of the movie, yeah, that gets a little bit concerning. Now, there's something else that Daniel said yesterday that was like, they're filming stuff on the Void right now, or they're getting ready to shoot some stuff on the Void. And I know there's people in chat talking about how there's like these leaked photos and everything. I will check that out. I don't like to look at stuff like that on stream live until I vet it to make sure it's actually real or whatever. I don't like to just talk about it on stream. But we can maybe talk about that tomorrow, because perhaps those are real and they are on the Void or something like that. Okay, so you got some shots being built on or some filming about to happen on the Void, and they still have not finalized the third act of Avengers Doomsday. Now, here's the thing that's crazy about this. What I'm about to say here is heavily speculative, right? Because we don't know for sure. All we have is little leaks, rumors, and hints. And it's interesting that like that James Mackweld guy has been talking about the Void and Loki and Franklin and this X-Men universe, and now Daniel's out there saying, yes, they're about to film some stuff on the Void. Like, that's a little crazy to me, right? So, from what we know, chat, it does seem like the third act of this movie is going to have like a lot of unwinding and consolidating plot points. Okay? It seems like the movie will more or less begin with Reed Richards coming into the MCU like we see at the end of the Thunderbolts movie. And Reed Richards might be saying like, hey, they have my son, Franklin. Doom has him. He's in this other universe, right? And we talked about yesterday how it seems like Shuri is going to assemble some of the 616 Avengers to explain what's going on with this other universe. Reed Richards may well use Wakandan tech to try to help figure out what's going on. And then they might use America Chavez to enter that universe in an attempt to rescue Monica Rambeau and Franklin Richards from Doctor Doom. Now, meanwhile, it kind of seems like Doom is going to go to this X-Men universe. He potentially wants to kill Charles, who is the anchor being of that universe, or at the very least, he's looking for powerful beings. And there's a big rumor that what he's really trying to do is get the Avengers and the X-Men to fight against each other, to weaken them, or potentially to like have control of some of the people, so that when he goes after Loki and the TVA, nobody can stand in his way. Okay? So what I've just described, everything we're talking about, these are rumors and leaks about the first two acts of the movie. Okay? Now, the rumor is once we crack into the third act of Avengers Doomsday, oh, by the way, there's also a whole plot line with Spider-Man, and some of the Avengers are in 616, and Doctor Doom is invading them as well. It's like, it's all just one big crazy Doctor Doom psyop where he's setting everybody against each other to try to get to what he wants, okay? The third act of the film, and we're not sure, But it seems like the third act of the film will be after all of that, after everything I just explained. And it seems like the third act of the movie may well actually involve things like the Void, concepts like the TVA and a lot of other variants, possible multiversal Avengers that were being assembled secretly. This could be where Doom and his lieutenants have actually killed all of the anchor beings. They have the powerful people. They're going to Loki at the end of time. They're on the Void. And there were some rumors a couple of weeks ago. We don't know if these are real, but there were rumors that you would get a huge fight on the Void. And the thing about fighting on the Void in the third act of Doomsday is that any and every character that you want to be there can be there. So via the TVA, the multiverse, if we sort of extrapolate the plot of Deadpool and Wolverine out to other characters throughout the universe, multiple branches of TVA probably recruiting other powerful Marvel characters, which we see in that TVA comic book that kind of happened, right? And so if this is a thing, then I would just say them not finalizing the third act in Doomsday makes perfect sense. I think it would be challenging. Like, as I was thinking about this last night, I was like, damn, dude, it almost seems like the first two acts of this movie are going to be like a lot better. Like X-Men and Avengers, Doom doing crazy stuff. These characters first meeting each other, trying to work through stuff, getting through challenges together, going into a separate universe. Spider-Man, Wakanda, the Sorcerers fighting against Doombots and potentially a Doctor Doom Death Star. All of that stuff sounds pretty fucking incredible to me. And so I think there might be a challenge going on where there's supposed to be this moment where Doom flips the switch, reveals his plans, and is fully realized as the actual villain of the film, right? It seems like what they want is for that to have an incredible amount of oomph and for fans to really love that part. But I would imagine this is also like a really tricky thing to figure out. Because although a lot of other parts of the movie have all kinds of characters, you probably want to sort of close down the focus of the movie in the third act. You want it to really be about Doctor Doom and potentially some other characters like the other Avengers, maybe evil Avengers versus real Avengers. That's where that actually happens and takes place. That could be interesting. You have to find a way to make it feel like a satisfying conclusion, to give a lot of characters shine, for it to feel like spectacle. But I also think one of the things that's going to be challenging about it is we know Doom's about to win. Right? How can we have a satisfying third act that breaks our hearts as we watch Doom actually complete his goals and actually remove Loki and actually reboot the entire universe? I would imagine that is a very difficult thing to get right. And although you can juggle a lot of pieces and move things along, once you get into that third act and you're zeroed in and you're honing in on the ending and the setup for the next thing, I think it's just such a crucial, vital, and important part of the film. So I'm not surprised that they are having these problems with the third act. The way I think they're going to do this, guys, and I think this is like just the Russos. This is just how they do it, but this is also a Marvel thing. I think the Russos are full steam ahead on some kind of assembly cut. I think they want to sit back and they want to actually watch the thing. And then I think after they watch it, they will have all kinds of ideas on how to make it better, on how to emphasize certain parts, on how to remove certain parts. And I think that's just a part of their system. So a bit of speculation here. But when you read the tea leaves and you kind of look at how these reports are shaping out, seems like they've delayed the thing 7 months. They're really not going to stop shooting. So it's almost like Marvel locked in on saying, this movie's so fucking ridiculously ambitious and so fucking important that we need to make it twice. That's the impression I'm getting. A 7-month delay is basically shooting another film. So I think they're going to do what they have. They're going to work from the script. They're going to assemble it. And then the whole team is going to watch it. And then they're going to literally tweak the fuck out of it and reshape it. Maybe not completely, but as much as it needs to be able to be the satisfying film that it needs to be. Doomsday right now, like, you know, we're talking about Superman. There's a lot of pressure on Superman. I think Superman is in a unique situation. So far, it seems like it's kind of meeting the moment in a good way. And things are looking up for Superman, right? Doomsday is as important, if not more important than Superman, just in different ways. I think Superman needs to prove that it can work and that a DCU of this ilk can work. Doomsday needs to show us that Marvel still has the ability to tap into what they had in the Infinity Saga. And Marvel needs to prove to us that, like, things are going to be different, that these movies are going to be fucking awesome. And ultimately, they have to set us up not just to have a good time in Secret Wars, but to have a good time in the next saga, to enjoy Marvel in a way that we used to. That is the goal. So with all of that said, guys, I just thought it would be important to talk about this. There's a lot of people tweeting this, talking about it, this, that, second, and the third. As best I can, that's kind of my thoughts on it, my breakdown. And I am not worried per se, to be honest with you. If they hadn't delayed it, I would be worried hearing this, right? But hearing it now, I think it actually tracks. I think we're going to be okay. But of course, we're going to follow along. Any little updates, things that happen, we will update you. What do you guys think? Reworking the third act of Doomsday. What do you think, man? Thanks for watching, and if you like this clip, smash a like on the actual video and subscribe to this channel. That way more of these clips get into your feed. I've also linked the full episode below if you want to check out the entire thing, including the Q&A we do with fans. You can also watch this show live. We do it live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And you can also find all of my content, including the videos I put on my main YouTube channel, on the podcast feed.